Getting Started with Spanish is a one-book course to introduce an independent student to the language. It's different from other Spanish curriculum, and that's by design. The author, William Linney, is a Latin enthusiast, but he's not a fan of traditional language instruction. His belief is that foreign language learning should be self-explanatory, self-paced, and self-contained. A student should be able to progress without a teacher. He also wanted to make language easy to learn by mastering a concept through practice exercises before moving on to the next concept. There are 3 components: the textbook, audio files for pronunciation, and audio files to help with the lesson. This course has 177 lessons that a student could complete over a school year or even in a semester. Free audio files provide pronunciation from native Spanish speakers as an example for the student to imitate. A second collection of audio files provides brief commentary to guide the student through each lesson. Here, the author and a native speaker are expanding a bit on the lesson concept. They might connect to a past lesson or even compare something to English to help the student comprehend new information. You can download both sets of audio files as either MP3 files or a YouTube playlist from the book's website. A one-page pronunciation guide in the back of the book is helpful as a handy reference, and even here you can see the author's unconventional take on learning sounds. His written examples are effective but do not use the International Phonetic Alphabet. With his method, vocabulary, words, and concepts are introduced gradually in daily bite-sized lessons. Students will only learn the beginning stages of Spanish grammar, so it cannot be used for high school credit. That said, it's a good choice for the middle schooler with an interest in Spanish to see if they want to take a deeper language course in high school. It would also be a good option for the adult curious about learning Spanish. A typical lesson will include reading from the text and listening to the audio files for additional instruction and practice. Complete the written work and check your answers. Written work consists of translating up to 10 sentences from Spanish to English using what you've learned, and students are encouraged to compare the languages. Grammar is presented with charts and examples. It's recommended you keep a notebook for your exercises. An answer key is found in the back of the book. A parent can quiz the student by backing up to a previous lesson and ask them to translate the exercises. Check their answers in the back of the book. You could also ask them to translate directly from the audio files to check their retention and comprehension of the language. Most lessons start with a new word and its meaning. Later lessons might have a new concept or grammar point along with review material. As with all language instruction, correct pronunciation is so important. There are sounds we don't use in English, and you will need to practice these on your own. Listen to the word pronounced correctly and reproduce it yourself. You might feel silly at first, but watch yourself make the sounds in a mirror. This is the perfect opportunity to use those audio files for practice. Spanish sounds will take time for your ears to get used to as well. What you read and what you hear may not make sense at first. Just give it time and practice often. It will get easier to match the sounds you hear the more you read and listen. Let's take a look at the first several short lessons and then some later in the text. Lesson 1 is short and presents us the articles, a, an, and the in English, reminding us that they precede a noun. There's no writing to do, just read, discuss, and think about it. You're about to learn about Spanish articles. That's it, lesson 1 is done. Lesson 2 is about word gender, something we don't often see in English. All nouns in Spanish are either masculine or feminine. Again, the concept is presented for you to read and think about. Written exercises will come later. That's it, lesson 2 is done. Lessons 3, 4, 5, and 6 are about the articles el and la and the nouns niño and niña. You're reminded that Spanish words might sound different from how they look, and to use the audio files as an example rather than winging it. Listen to the native speaker and imitate what you hear. The more you listen and try to make the sounds, the better your Spanish will sound. The next several lessons include common vocabulary like family members, pronouns, and there are some present tense verbs that are presented in small chunks for the beginner. You learn to say we are before you learn the entire conjugation of the verb to be. Later in the book, you'll learn the present tense of the irregular verbs to be and to have, as well as some regular verbs, which are easier. You'll get into asking questions, plurals, and how to make agreement, as well as several common expressions. Also, you're introduced to second conjugation verbs. You can add to this lesson by thinking of your child's learning style. Add simple songs to help a child develop their pronunciation and to teach vocabulary to an auditory learner. Create a memory game with the vocabulary words and flip over matching pairs to encourage a hands-on learner. Your visual learner can draw pictures and label items around the house using their new vocabulary and index cards. By the end of the book, a student will have a good beginner Spanish vocabulary and be prepared to either study a formal Spanish course in high school or simply apply what they've learned in this course. Getting started with Spanish is an efficient way to explore the language with your family. You could easily use it with multiple students, each writing in their own notebook, starting about 4th grade. It's inexpensive and straightforward. The free audio download assures correct pronunciation of difficult words and phrases. If you'd like more information about this program or other materials we carry, please contact our curriculum consultants during business hours by phone at 888-841-3456 or live chat, or after hours by email, consultants@rainbowresource.com. Be sure to like and subscribe for more helpful homeschooling videos.